All right, let's get right into it. We usually think of communication as a soft skill, right? But what if I told you that in some industries, it's not soft at all? It's a weapon, a billion-dollar weapon even. We're going to use the super high-stakes world of free brokerage to really unpack a huge misunderstanding about communication that might be costing you way more than you think.
You've probably heard this a million times. Good communication? Oh, that just means being friendly and replying fast. I mean, it sounds right, doesn't it? It's what they teach you in Customer Service 101. You're polite, you're quick to respond. It feels like you're building a great relationship.
But here's where it gets dangerous. In a business like freight, where one little mistake can cost thousands of dollars, that belief, it isn't just wrong, it's a straight-up liability. It's a trap, and a lot of people fall into it thinking that just being nice is going to be enough to protect them. It's not.
And when that just be nice strategy fails, the fallout isn't pretty. It's like a chain reaction. A missed detail turns into a fight. That fight means you might not get paid for a job you already did. Next thing you know, you're looking at legal trouble, you're getting kicked off an account by a shipper, and those relationships you worked so hard to build, poof, gone. Those are the real consequences.
So, how do we stop that chain reaction before it starts? Simple. We have to completely change how we think about communication. It's time to start treating it like a weapon. Not a weapon for attacking, but for defending yourself. This is way beyond customer service. This is active risk management. So what does that actually look like in practice? Let's get specific. In the professional world, communication is all about using strategic language, and this is key, documentation, to do three things. Control what everyone expects to happen, make it crystal clear who is responsible for what, and create a paper trail of proof so that tiny problems don't explode into massive ones. And that whole strategy really just boils down to these three core ideas. Number 1, clarify responsibility. No fuzzy lines, no gray areas. 2, control expectations. You define what's going to happen and when. And 3, create written proof. Document everything. These aren't just suggestions, they're the pillars of your professional survival.
Now, you can't just use the same approach with everyone. You have to adapt. You got to wear different hats. When you're talking to your shippers, you're the professional authority. They're looking to you for proactive solutions. With carriers, you're the rule setter. They need clear, unambiguous requirements because any confusion costs them time and costs you money. And for your accounting team, you're just the document provider. They don't care about the story. They just need perfect paperwork so everyone gets paid. Each audience, a different tactical role.
Which brings us to what is, and I'm not exaggerating here, the single most important rule in this whole playbook. This is the broker's golden rule. It is your absolute most critical line of defense when things start to go sideways. If it is not in writing, it does not exist. Just let that sink in for a second. This is not about creating more paperwork for fun. It's about creating an objective reality that no one can argue with later. A phone call, a verbal agreement, an assumption, those are like ghosts. They disappear the second there's a problem. And this is exactly why the most dangerous phrase in all of business is, "We discussed it on the phone." When you hear that, a giant red flag should go up. It means you are totally unprotected. It's a huge vulnerability just waiting to be exploited, whether someone means to or not. So, what are the non-negotiables? What has to be in writing, no excuses? Here's the checklist. Obviously, rates and payments, but also all the little rules for pickup and delivery. Every single extra charge, like detention or a truck order not used, the exact procedure for handling delays, tracking requirements, and the rules for how documents have to be submitted. Every single one of these is a potential landmine if you don't have it written down. Okay, so how do you get this stuff in writing without sounding like a jerk or a lawyer? You just need a few key phrases in your toolkit. Starting an email with, "Per our conversation, please confirm," is a smooth way to turn a verbal chat into a written record. Referencing something like, "as stated on the rate confirmation," reinforces the contract that's already in place. And saying, "for documentation purposes," is just a clear, professional way to say, "Hey, I need this in writing." These are your tools. Get comfortable using them. All right, so we've talked about the why and the what. Now, let's get tactical with the how. This is the professional playbook. It's a simple, repeatable framework for how to communicate when things, and trust me, things will, go wrong. And it's so simple you can use it every single time. It's just 3 parts. Part 1, what happened? Stick to the objective facts only. No emotion, no opinion. Part 2, what does it affect? The schedule, the cost, the service. Part 3, what happens next? This is where you propose a solution or ask for a decision. Facts impact action.
That's it. That's the playbook.
The difference this makes is just, well, it's night and day. Look at the unprofessional example on the left. It's a rambling, emotional mess. The driver is late, traffic was bad, he's really sorry. It's useless. Now look at the professional version on the right. Carrier reports delay due to traffic. Updated ETA is 18:30. Please advise if the delivery window is flexible. See? The first one just explains a problem. The second one starts to manage the outcome.
So why is this approach so much better? Because it immediately removes the two things that make problems worse, emotion and blame. It presents only the objective facts, which are really hard to argue with. It pivots the conversation away from the problem and towards a solution. And, of course, it creates a clean, clear, written record of what happened and what was done about it.
And this is really the whole point, the big takeaway. Your goal is never just to explain a problem. Anybody can do that. Your goal is to manage the outcome. That's the huge mindset shift from being a reactive customer service person to a proactive risk manager.
And that brings me to a final thought for you. We've used freight brokerage to look at this, but this idea, it applies everywhere. So I'll just leave you with this question. In your own career, whatever you do, where is just being nice not enough? And what could you stand to gain by starting to treat your communication like the powerful protective tool it really is?